So the other day I mentioned that I downloaded this Rebecca Sterling's Vision thing, kind of a documentary, whatever, that she just released fairly recently. I thought it was interesting, the little summary I saw. And first of all, I'm going to talk kind of quiet. So I'm going to put my mouth close to this mic because it's kind of late here. And I don't want my kids saying, Daddy, you woke us up. So I'm going to kind of whisper if you can deal with it. Now, she seems genuine to me. I don't sense that she's a shyster, scammer, anything like that. At some point, she moved to Ecuador, I believe. What I don't know is if she's come back to America or if she's still in Ecuador right now, and that's where she's living. In the back of where she's talking, it's basically a room that they have set up where she shows all of these, like, things she put together with that she handmade to show scenes, like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, or as she calls scene 1, scene 2, scene 3. And she has little like plastic, action figures that she got over the years. Whenever she would see one that she needed, I need that one to help build the scene, she would get it and glue it into this little scene thing. I started to take notes, but I'm like, man, I'm going to be pausing this thing. It's 4 hours long. I'm going to be pausing this thing left and right, like I do a summary of Lindsey Williams. I'm like, I'm just not going to do it. If something stands out that I really need to remember or something, I'll write it down. If I feel like I can't remember telling you right now. One of those things, there's major water problems from droughts to very bad water quality coming to a planet near you. But she grew up in a religious household. She is absolutely, positively of the Christian faith, the Bible, etc. So she's coming from a background, as she explains what she saw in this vision in 1999, from a religious, God showed me this, the Father showed me that, the Father then showed me this, scene, or that, that's how it sounds when she's talking. But in the beginning, there's like a kind of like a preamble or like a introduction, and she says that ever since she was like 5, she said that when I was 5 years old, I was saved, religiously, and I knew then that, I forgot what she said, that's what I was going to do, I was saved and I was going to live like that, whatever. But she said, I've always had these visions, even as a child. She said, I don't know, I'm not psychic. I don't consider myself psychic or anything like that. What I get, I believe, is from the Lord, the Father, showing me things. So that's her interpretation of what she thinks is happening. When I listen to it, me not being religious, having been religious in the past, I grew up in the Christian faith, went to a Christian church, Catholic church as well. When I was, 10 or 11, my sister and I begged our parents, can we stop going? Yes, all right, fine. And then, I was always a believer of everything I was taught until I started to wake up, as far as I thought was waking up anyways, over the last 10 or so years. And it made me think, are we being told the whole truth about religions? And I've seen this thing called the Catholic Church, and I'm not liking what I'm seeing. They're molesting kids, and they're doing this, and they've changed stories, they've removed things from the Bible in the past, they've added things, so to me, I'm starting to feel like I don't know if I should trust any religion. So that's kind of where my standpoint is these days. I don't know if I trust any of them. So I can't say I'm this or that. I just don't trust them because I feel we've been lied to over everything. Why would that be any different? That's the most powerful thing you'd want to lie to somebody about. And if you look at the Catholic Church at the top, I think it's safe to say what I'm saying is true. But anyways, so if you're a person who doesn't believe all the religious nonsense, you're going to listen to her story and think, oh, she's got some psychic ability and she saw this. And here's what she has to say. If you are a religious person, you are going to say, oh yeah, God gave her a vision. The good news is, no matter what your flavor is, she has some interesting things to say. And I've never seen anything or heard anything like this before, and where she was putting these little caricatures down, these little figures, and like even painting some of which she'd already done, I guess, years ago. Painted the scenes, and no, that's not dark enough. I got to change that. This is how it was in the vision. She has this vision, and it's, takes her 20 hours to type up everything she saw in the vision in 1999. And she said at one point she was seeing things in up until around 40 years old. She's like, Father, please stop. I don't want to see any more of this stuff. And it was these two a boy and a little girl in the woods. They've been dropped off there, kind of to fend on themselves. They can't survive, and they're dirty. They're hungry. She's like, stop sending me this. I can't. I don't want this anymore. And she said, Dad, I stopped getting visions. She said, finally at age 50, in 1999, she put all of these things in her life that were good, pictures and things she appreciated, things like that, all kind of like this little ceremonial pile, from what she says, was to thank God for these things in her life and this and that, and saying, I'm ready now. I feel like I'm ready to listen to what you have to say and show me. So she said shortly after that, the vision started coming again. And she said after that, it was kind of like, I thought I just saw something like a white, flash or something fly by, and look over there and it's gone. Look over there, it's gone. I just saw it, look again, it's gone. That kind of stuff. And then shortly after that, she got this big vision. And this is the one she woke up and said, it was 4:30 in the morning. I got right on my computer. She says, at that time, I was very fast typer. I could type 100 words a minute. She said, anyone that knows about typing, that is fast. And I was typing. And by the time 20 hours went by, I finally felt like I'd given the whole story that I was given, or wrote down the whole story I was given. So for 20 hours straight, she said she wrote it. But she was told not to give it out until she could tell the story was beginning. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end, of course. And so she waited. She says, and again, according to her, 2014, around August, a general died, which is the start of the story she saw, and that the president, in this case Obama, would not be showing up, and instead was going to send his wife instead, and they were going to say, well, he can't come because such and such. So the wife, which in this case would be Michelle Obama, was supposed to come, but then she couldn't make it. Something along those lines. I have not verified who this general was in, I think, August of 2014. That passed. I'm not sure. But she has these little figurines of the Obama family, and that was the president at the time all this stuff starts going down. So if she says that in 1999, the only problem we have is, gotta be fair, realist news. I gotta be real. The video is brand new. It was released recently, I believe, of this lady with her story, 4 hours worth. And she's recalling a lot off memory, I'll tell you. She looked down a few times, had some little notes here and there, but for the most part, she was looking right at the camera and telling you word for word what was happening, what happened in this part and then that part. But she says that the starting point will be when the general dies. And you'll have another sign, because this will happen too. There'll be rioting. You're going to see rioting as a secondary, like a sign. This is the right, time frame. She said it was, I think she said it was the Ferguson riots, if I recall. I don't know, I just saw it, but it was 4 hours, and I watched it earlier today, half of it, and the other half just recently. I think it may have been the Freddie Gray one, maybe. Was that it? Or no, it was the other one. Whatever. The one in Ferguson, though. And she said, as this general, a matter of a day or two later or so, roughly, the riot started breaking out. And she said, that's when I realized this is the guy. So she started paying attention and then realized, I think this is it. And so now she made this kind of sort of documentary thing. It's really just her in this room explaining stuff. They go to a couple of different scenes every now and then of, whatever, but nothing major. they zoom into the little thing she built when she's talking about this. Oh, see this character up here? He was doing this, and that was that. These FEMA camps, people are being told, oh no, if you're having any trouble, just go to these camps. They're there to help, and people would go thinking, well, the commercial looked great. We're struggling, and we decided we can't survive here, so we're going to go to the FEMA camp because the commercials make it appear like it's a good place to go to until you get there. And it's basically like a Hitler concentration camp type of scenario. So anyways, you could read the Bible and say, okay, Book of Revelations and, John and this and that, and say, okay, it's in there. It's already in there. But she's pinpointing a few details, and she seems to think the time is now starting. And we are going to one world government, and there's going to be what she says, you may call them ET, extraterrestrial. What she keeps saying is ED, extra dimensional, because they can come between dimensions, and they're going to be this huge giant meeting. The New World Order Pope's going to be there. These people are going to come help us after we have these big problems, and we need peace on Earth, and of course everybody has to get microchipped and all this stuff. But again, the way she presented it was purely as I would expect any minister or pastor or anybody else to present the same type of story. So I can't look back and say, oh, well, I've got her on record saying such and such, look for that event in the future, we'll know it's starting. I can't say that I've found that. I haven't. I've only seen this new video, and that's all I've got. So, in all fairness, could she be pulling one on us? Sure. But, again, she seemed pretty genuine to me. But you might argue, yeah, but so does every scammer, religious guy you turn on the TV and they're asking you to send them some money. Or they're faking, laying hands on you and the people are falling and faking it. They seem real too. And you may have a point there. So, my point is, I watched it like I said I would. I paid $24 to download it and own it. If you want to rent it, you can go online for $14, up to 30 days rent. And you can watch each video. There's like 15 or 16 chapters. And you just watch them, pause it, stop it, come back later, whatever, if you want. I think it was Vimeo where I got this, the video website. Again, it's Rebecca, was it Rebecca Sternling? Is that what it was? Sternling, my life during the Antichrist? Is that what it was called? Yeah, so July 30th, 2015, coming soon, full DVD documentary, Rebecca Sterling's 1999, whatever. It's done. The release of Rebecca Sterling's 1999 vision, October 31st, 2015. So, anyways, that's what it's called. My Life in the Time of the Antichrist. Is it, is it God? Is she psychic? Is whatever. Point being, she has some interesting stuff to say. I don't know if it's going to go down the way she said. Is it just for America? Is it for the whole world? Again, it's a New World Order, so it looks like it is. But she was saying at one point she was praying, like, God, save America. Let's not let this happen, and yada, yada, yada. And she says, in one of the visions, he said, why are you praying for this? And she said, well, I don't want it to happen, And he says, this is my judgment against America. You can't pray my judgment away, basically, so stop. So she stopped, again, according to her. That's how she said it. I really don't know what to tell you. It was interesting, for sure. I'm not going to forget it. If you want to watch it or do whatever, you know the name, and you can watch it. Take care.